Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Black Girl Brunch. My name is
Hello, and
Iman.
I'm Sabria. Hello, little haglets.
And we are so excited for this week's episode of Black Girl Brunch. Can you never say that again? I literally felt a pain at the bottom of my stomach
I'm
when I
so
laughed.
y'all.
It's
I
okay.
got on my bed right. Like, if you want to know what type of weekend I had, first of all, the collar drunk as hell. I'm just being very real right now, very real. So I'm covering it like this, like an old maiden. So I'm definitely in a haglet mode. That's why I called y'all haglets, because I'm in a haglet mode. I got on
You were projecting.
exactly. So y'all are haglets with me. Come on down.
Period. This the Haglet Girl Brunch.
Exactly.
Or Black Girl Haglet. That's what it
Exactly.
is.
So
Black Girl Haglets. Okay, so that's the theme. And also I feel like being a Haglet fits in perfectly with
it
fall, if we're
does.
being
It
honest. So
does.
I feel like anything, as long as it's on trend with fall, I'll be a Haglet. Like I don't care. Personally, as long as it like can Haglets drink warm
Very
tea?
yes,
Yes.
haglets need warm
Can
tea.
Haglets
Mm,
eat stew
yes,
and soup? Yes.
yes, that's
Can Haglets
yes,
bake?
yes,
Yes.
yes,
So I'm like, all
exactly,
right,
exactly.
I can do
That's
it.
exactly how I'm feeling, because I have not bed rotted in so long, and I did it
It's good. It's a
yesterday.
good thing to
And you
do.
can't just come out of it in 24 hours. I'm still leaking out of it. That's it.
I didn't know you were bedridden yesterday. I don't know why I pictured you yesterday with hokers on, like like jetting around the city.
Funny, and I hope she don't see this podcast, but I did. I was supposed to go see my trainer yesterday, and I said I couldn't come, and she
Mm.
put like the thumbs down, and she was like, "Psych."
But you needed a mental health day,
Yeah,
sounds
so I
like.
needed to be Haglet, so I did that. But
Yeah, I
this,
love it. But you know what I don't like? I don't like bedriding with somebody who's a busybody. Yes, I'm throwing shots at the person I live with because it's like when I don't really like when I'm trying to sit on the couch and just feel sorry for
yeah,
myself and you see somebody like wiping down counters. It's like you kind of ruining things for
yeah,
me.
right,
Like
and
I need you to also do
and
nothing or just do something in a different room.
exactly, and like I was like, I felt like I was getting so bored, and I was like, wait, fuck it, like I think I actually might go to the gym, but then I like the fatigue hit me like slap, so I couldn't. But I was like,
Yeah, it's like sit it down. Sit your ass
yeah,
down. Yeah. I think I'm actually in my what's the opposite of a Haglet? I'm in my Hagatha mood, I think. Like because like I feel like Hagatha is like the Haglet's older sister that likes to be like do
yeah,
chores. I'm in my Hagatha
yes,
mood. So like I wanna like clean my cabinets. Like I wanna get down to the nitty gritty. Um over yesterday I hung out with my girlfriend Nikia and she showed me her new space and it was so like impeccably organized and I'm usually somebody that's on top of organization but like work and just life has just been taking me down and so I have like not been on it as much and I'm not comfortable, so this was like that was like let's organize today that I actually got good sleep and I don't have anything besides Black Girl Brunch. Black Girl Brunch is the only thing on my mind as far as like responsibility today. Everything else I just want to like put Interview with a Vampire on or Gilmore Girls or The Perfect Couple. Like those are the shows that are in my rotation right now. Put one of those on or maybe Wednesday and
very
then
fall shows.
uh yeah, very fall shows and then just organize because the kitchen and my stock closet is what my focuses are.
And how far are you on Interview with the Vampire?
I'm on the episode that ended with the black vampire saving Claudia.
Okay, okay, with Luis. Hey,
Yeah,
that's the
and
only
I
part.
just remember from the movie that Claudia, the little girl, she gonna shake shit
Mm-hmm.
up. So I just have to see what that looks like in this show. Like I kind of, yeah, I really like the show and how dramatic it is, but the Black Guy family really was pissing me
Yeah,
off.
they
Like,
was. Oh
oh my God.
my
Like, okay, I'm a vampire. Get over
god.
it. Like, that don't mean I'm not part of the family anymore. I'm still part of the
Yeah,
family.
they was acting so like. I mean, I guess the times, but like they was acting
I
so.
know he almost ate the baby, but like,
He left.
he did what he had
He
to do.
did.
And then, no, blaming him for his brother's suicide when they knew he was
Freak.
like a rambling fool really, really got me out. The mom was like, you did it. I'm like, first of all, you weren't even fucking there.
And also, why would he do that to his brother who he loved?
who he's been protecting this entire time. And like I hate that in movies because that would be too heavy for me to carry.
Yeah,
Blaming me for somebody unaliving
yeah,
themselves. Like why would you do that when you knew he was mentally ill?
yeah. But they didn't see him as mentally ill. They was like, oh, that's just so.
He like the devil roams through the halls. That's what he would say at dinner, like some shit like that. And they'd be like,
And the thing is, he was kind of right because
he was correct, but he was tormented. He
he
was a
was
tormented
definitely a
soul.
tormented soul. He was, but
And there was nothing that could have been done about
and
that.
I will say, I actually, dare I say, I like the show better than the movie, honestly. And I might
Okay.
be,
I'm still liking the movie more, but I also love the real flair of Louisiana that the
yeah,
show
I
brings and
think,
like the cultural
yeah,
aspect that makes it
I
real.
think that's partial to the show because
Hmm.
and also I like the show because I feel like the movie, like, it was like they weren't like balls to the wall. I feel like lovers in a movie. It was like kind of
Hmm.
like a little like kiss and tickle. Like it was
Hmm.
just like it wasn't. But like in the
Oh yeah, they
show,
was
it's like this
freaky.
is like this is what it
They
is. They
unlocked the
are a
freak.
couple. Like so, and
Yeah.
also I'm biased because I had the biggest crush on Luis. So yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a beautiful man. When he put the contacts in though, I was like, hold up. The contact, because I thought he was okay. But when he put the contacts in, I'm like, he looks
And
so
his
cool.
voice, like the way he talked and just like his sweat, I just like,
The New Orleans
oh my
accent,
god. But he's
yeah.
English, which is the wildest thing.
I feel like they can do
I really feel
anything with
like
their
black English
voices.
people could do anything for real. Like,
Honestly though, even like Nicole Kidman, who's
oh yeah.
Australian, like Margot Robbie, who is
Oh
Australian,
yeah.
like the voice acting is
Yeah, it is
crazy because
crazy.
I know damn well I couldn't do no like
Cause how
English
you
accent.
doing
I would sound
like a
like
Louisiana accent? Like it's so, oh
that's
man, I
hard to
can't wait
do.
till you just Ooh, I'm just
I'm like
tickled.
getting nervous though because I see the tensions rising between
This
I don't know their names right now. The white vampire and the black
Lestat
vampire.
and
I see
Louise.
things
Yeah,
Lestat and Louise. I see a lot. I see the
yeah.
tension rising. Also knowing from the movie, I know it's gonna be they're gonna fall out. And even the way Louise was talking, he's like, "That's the night he claimed me as his slave." And it's like, what's about to
But also,
happen?
I love
You know?
when like I like I don't know. It's just I love it. I'm just that's how I feel.
It's
Like when
good.
I talk about
It's
it,
a
I'll be
good
like,
fall watch.
oh, that's how I feel.
But I was just telling, I have to mention this on the show. I do not understand how no one knew Lestat was a vampire when he had them cloudy almond shaped
I
acrylic
know.
nails
So
on. I'm like,
Iman, remember when I had the manicure that was like
it was
I
just like
wanted.
that.
I was watching Interview with the Vampire.
See, I swear, as soon as I saw Lestat's nails, I was like, I see exactly where Supriya went with the like vampire manicure. It was so savvy and y'all nailed it. But I'm like, if I see somebody with those nails at my table, I'm
It's
suspicious.
a coke nail, like the pinky. It's his whole
Yeah.
hand and his eyes, his lips
Yes.
and eyes, and I could just tell when he came in the room, the energy just shifted real
Right. And
bad.
when he started speaking in that language in a black home, I was like, no, don't you dare. Remember when he freaked out and like went
Yeah, like
and Louise was like, hey, chill, chill, chill.
in a black home.
So
But yeah, also
in a
I'm
black
very
home.
fall. Y'all, well, this is my all year round blanket.
But it's definitely given for the season. It
Yeah, because
is.
y'all know this is my favorite season.
So speaking of, we want to talk about like our ideal fall activities. You know, we all set these amazing plans for the beginning of the season where we're like, oh, I want to do this. I want to go, hiking. Oh, I want to go to Colorado to like go down a trail. We set all these like high expectations for the season and sometimes we accomplish them, sometimes we don't. But let's just talk about like what are the ideal fall activities, like perfect fall funds are right, the timing is right, everything's perfect. What will we do with this season?
So for me, obviously we have to be going to Halloween Horror Nights. Like
Hmm.
that is like my dream to go to Halloween Horror Nights. And like no exaggeration, I have watched like 5 videos already on Halloween Horror Nights, Orlando, and this season, I feel like something that I would be interested in. Like it looks amazing. This like so far because I watch the videos every year, and I feel like this is like one of the like this season is. Speaking of Haglets, they have a which inspired me. They have I forgot what the name of the house is called, but it's like goblins in it. And like the like eating people, and like when the people come in, they're like, "Oh, time to meal prep." Like they're really like freaky, like weird goblins in the
Oh, that's
and
scary.
the the makeup is in it's just like really a freaky idea, and I'm obsessed with it, and I want to so bad. So yeah, Halloween Horror Nights, that's like number one, guns blazing. Another one would be to this is very simple, have a day where I just bake fall treats. Like I
Mm.
love pumpkin so much, and like not everybody likes pumpkin as much as me or at all, but it's okay. I love pumpkin.
I'm actually so well, if that's a shot at me. I'm starting to like pumpkin. I just want
That's
to put
not
that
even a
out
shot.
there.
It's my mom be like, so,
Okay, because you know I've been really I have been I would have deserved it. I would have deserved
yeah,
the shot because I have not been kind to you about how you like
yeah,
pumpkin.
you or my mom was getting, but my mom is worse. She's like, that's white people stuff, and like,
Well, I think it, but I
I'm
just don't
just
say
like,
it. Yeah.
whoa. But pumpkin pie is so freaking good. And fall treats like pumpkin pie, like apple cider donuts, or like apple muffins, like stuff like that. So like have a day where I make fall treats. Out of all of this, that probably would maybe be the most doable. Um, the next thing would be go to a pumpkin patch on a date. That would be very nice. I've always wanted to do that, but I've never been able to, but I would love to do something like that. And I don't know if there's another pumpkin patch outside of Linville here,
I gotta
but
be.
yeah,
It gotta
so
be because we've been. The Bella's nice, but you go once or
yeah.
twice, and they don't have a lot of
Yeah,
vegan
they
food.
don't. So I would like to do something like
Hmm.
that. And then the next thing would be go to there is a I think it's the end of this month. It's Monster Palooza, where they have like special effects stuff. They have some like horror actors and things there, photo ops and stuff. So I would love to go to a Monster Palooza festival. Or I know there is a tattoo convention. It's like Hocus Pocus. Like you get it like poke like a tattoo. Like so it's called Hocus
Oh my God,
Pocus.
that's so funny.
So yeah,
Hocus.
so I would that's in York, PA. And I think it's the end of this month. But yeah, I would like to go there. So like either like a convention like Monster Palooza, or like a the tattoo convention.
I love that. I love the Hocus Pocus. That's like
Isn't it
genius.
so cute? So cute.
For me, I definitely want to do a fall fest. So this is an idea me and my mom have been toying with. She has like a decent sized backyard, and we were like, let's do fall fest. And we don't really know what that includes, but we were like, okay, maybe we can get like we could decorate some
Yeah.
pumpkins. You know, we can like carve some
Hmm.
pumpkins with people in the backyard. We can do some s'mores, like a little bonfire in her
Yes.
backyard. My mom was talking about getting like a keg with some like cider and beer,
Yes.
and perhaps even because my mom has like a big wall in
Hmm.
her backyard, like maybe doing like a projector or something, like where we can like watch some types of
Hmm.
movies. So that's something I really want to do more of. Well, we want to do this, but it's just about like, okay, it's a lot going on for my family in the
Yeah.
fall, so just finding the right time. But I said in order for us to do it, like let's do it big or small. Like if it's 4 people, that's still fun. We can do it with
And
four
maybe
people.
get
We
a
don't have to
inflatable
have 10
couch or
people there.
something.
Yeah, I would say you're gonna be in the loop, you know, about if we can do it or not. But me and my mom, we really want to do a fall fest and just have everybody like in flannel and blankets
That is
and
so
stuff
cute.
in the backyard. That would just be super fun and cozy. Next, I want to really lean into fall beauty trends. Very doable, but I feel like when fall comes around, oftentimes I just do the same makeup. Like I'm really good at keeping my nails like aligned with the season. Like when fall comes, you will see me in the brown. You will see me with the deep purples and plums and burnt orange and like you'll see those nails from me. But I think with like my my makeup and like my hair, I really want to lean into the season and like make my look more fall. Like I think I've done a good job with like I have a lot of clothes for fall that make me feel like okay, I got a brown sweater, I got a cranberry and navy blue sweater, and you know that's good. But I'm like, what can I do with the face to make me feel more fall and give that look that's different from all year round? I did get some different shades of lipstick
Oh,
when Sephora had lipstick
wait,
day.
what was that?
And I got to, it was like in August.
Oh,
It was in
yeah.
August. And it was all these lipsticks that were 50% off. So I got like Pat McGrath,
Shit. About that.
yeah, and some Fenty for like really decent prices. So I got this really dark Pat McGrath lip color, and I got a
Mm-hmm.
plum lip liner from NARS.
Yes. I don't know if I used
So
it.
I feel like I am like in that space to really like, do something
Yes.
different. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get out of my comfort zone. Like I keep telling myself it's not that big of a deal, you know.
And you
Baking is some
always wear
huh?
that those colors, so
Yeah, you do. That's why I'm like, and I kind of used to wear darker lip
you
colors,
did.
but I just haven't. So I just got to get back to just realizing like this is me too. It's no big deal. Baking is something that like I wanted to do, but I found myself not doing it last year because I was just moving into my apartment and I didn't really have all my appliances and everything. So this year, like I'm much better off with my appliances. I bought a loaf pan today, so I want to like experiment with different like loaves. Like I was just sharing with Sabria, I want to make like a peanut butter banana loaf because it's like something for protein and I can like eat it in the morning. But I also love zucchini bread. I've never made that before. I love like different, I think this is like summer, but like strawberry rhubarb and just like looking like, okay, what's in season? Of course, apple. How can I like make a
Oh my
loaf out
god.
of that? So that's what I've been planning to do. I actually think,
Mhm.
haven't you sent me a
I
loaf?
probably have. How does a caramel apple loaf sound?
Sounds delicious is how it sounds. So maybe do something like that. I just want to make different loaves. Like that's like
You're
my
in your
goal.
loaf.
So I will keep, I'm in my loaf era. And so we will be follow-ups there. Just check the Instagram. I should be sharing them there. And finally, I want to do like a really cool spooky movie night. Like I was even telling the person I live with, like maybe we can do something like that for Halloween because it's like I want to do a Halloween party, but I'm like low key I'm not in the mood to get dressed. I know it's September and I can't possibly decide what I want to do in October, but I think I know for a fact like I don't want to do a outfit. So I was like, but okay, I still want to celebrate like Halloween. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe I could do like a spooky movie night or
Yes.
something. Mm-mm-mm. So yeah, that's it. Those are the things. Or you know what else could be cool? Like a drive-in movie.
Where we drive? Oh, I was.
Hmm.
Yeah, they do have. They
Sorry.
do have
Yeah.
nights. They do at places.
Yeah. Remember it used to be one at like the Piazza? We used to do different movies at the Piazza in Northern Liberties.
I feel like that sounds familiar.
I swear we went to one
I
one
don't remember
year. Like
going.
well, we was very, very young. I don't know.
No.
But that would be
Yeah.
cool. All right, so let's get into a toast for assists. Shall we? Hold on. Let me look at the. I'm sorry, I have to actually look at the outline. Yeah, so this show we want to give a toast to Cleotrapa because she has gone through a lot.
She has, and also like she has been consistent, and she just be minding her business, trying to do her thing, and I feel like you know sometimes people hate that, like when you just do your thing and it's
Yeah,
genuine. So some people try to bring you down,
yeah,
and I know that most people who listen to this podcast already know the the shabazzle and the
drama.
drama and that went that went on with her and Ice Spice. And the way that she handled herself, I feel like was definitely great. Like
Way better than I think
way
I would have handled
same.
myself. I think she kept the big picture
She
in mind.
did.
Yeah, she kept the big picture in
Mm-hmm.
mind. Like, you know what? I have fans that are coming here, and although I'm not being treated
Mm-hmm.
respectfully or kindly by this
Yep.
person being Ice
Mm-hmm.
Spice, I'm going to use this as an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to, one, get more fans to see what life is like
Mhm.
on tour, to make my fans happy. I already put it out there to my fans that I will be here,
Yes.
and I'm regardless of if they're in the minority of fans
Mhm.
who are here, I care enough about them where I'll take this bullshit because I'm sorry, I would have went home and I would have put a statement out like, look, because I just one thing I can't deal with is people making me feel
Like, yeah.
not welcome when they invited me.
Yes, and that has happened to me and Iman before. So yeah, people.
I'm gonna tell the
Yes.
story. I'm gonna tell the
Yes.
story. So one time, me and Sabri was minding our motherfucking business, and someone who's a friend invited us over. And I said, I'm hungry. I want to get something to eat. I want to go. I have money. Let me tell y'all something. Ever since I was a kid, I don't leave the house without money. I don't. Because my mom and my dad just never played about
Yeah.
that. Like, I don't care if it was $20 in my pocket. I always had enough money to get some food because I don't depend on people to feed me. I don't. And my mom and my dad just was like, don't go to nobody's house begging and wanting. Like, don't do that because that makes us all look bad. So I always kind of can't, I was proud. It was very few friends that I even felt comfortable like eating at their house because I didn't want nobody to make it like I was greedy or
Yeah.
something. So this particular friend was like, you don't have to buy no food. I got so much food in the house. Now, somebody say they hungry and you say you got food in the house, you gonna think, oh, thank you. You're opening that. If I tell you that, that means you can eat, excuse my language, you can eat hell off the cross when you come to my place. Say eat as much as you want. So I wasn't going crazy, but like I like was slicing something and she's like, well, we have to save that for it. And I was like, bro, don't ever in your life.
Like
Don't do that.
what?
Me, I could have something and then I'm eating it and you're telling me I need to save some for some reason or we can't eat all this. And what the hell did
We
you tell
left
me
and
to
got
It's
pizza.
like we left and got pizza. And my thing is like, there's something to be said about people who be wanting the company but they just want the company and they don't actually want to entertain you.
Yeah.
Some people are just lonely. They're just lonely and they want people to like engage them because they don't have a personality on their
Mhm.
own. I'm not saying this about this particular person because I don't think that that was the case with this particular person. I just think that they was kind of crazy. But with the Ice Spice, I could see that she's the type of person that want to just like have somebody there because she don't have a probably like a actual personality on
Yeah,
her
and I could
own.
just tell
But
she's not a
then
good friend. You could just tell.
yeah. Yeah, but then when it comes time to actually hosting, you can't invite somebody to your house and not host them. You
Yeah.
can't invite somebody to your tour and not host them. Like if the shoe was on the other foot, and I told Sabria, come to tour with me last minute. I got everything. That means you are now my responsibility because you
Hello?
dropped your life and you came. You will stay at my hotel every night. And if a nigga just so happen to pop up, he better get a separate room for me and him. And then my friend will stay in the room that I had. Like it won't be like, oh now you gotta find something else. Like people who just forget what they promised. I hate people like
Same.
that. Like that's
Same.
something I can't stand because they gaslight you and make you look crazy.
Exactly.
Another thing I don't like, because I also have been in a situation where somebody else wasn't hungry and they was trying to keep me from eating. And when I
I hate people do that.
finally got something to eat and I was mad, they made it like, oh, I mean, everybody in this car can miss a meal. That was their response, meaning everybody who was hungry can miss a meal. And I was like, well, logically speaking, whether you're fat or skinny, you still have to eat. And like, not everybody likes to look, excuse me, like a lump of mashed potatoes, skinny fat with no mass to their body
You please
because
tell
they
me who
don't
this person
eat.
is?
Oh yeah, I told
I
you this
know you
story
have. I
before.
feel
It
like
was family. It was family. So here's the thing about my family. We be right here. We be at each other's throat. We be at each other's
oh,
throat.
I remember.
And this particular
I
relative,
remember.
for some reason, don't eat. And because they have digestion issues, I'm sorry, I don't have IBS. I need to eat.
Yeah.
I don't have a stomach issue. I can digest things. And my stomach was, when I tell you, when my eyes start rolling back in my head, and then my grandma had diabetes, I wanted to be like, I wanted to take my foot and put it on the brake of the car. Like, don't play with me in food. So when Cleo was saying that, like, that they was like withholding food, and then Ice Spice was making it like she a vacuum for eating. Eating is normal. It's
Yeah, I
normal to get
hate when
hungry
people
and want to
act
eat.
like
I don't
that.
like people that don't
Yeah,
like to
I don't
eat.
like it. I'm not kicking it with you. That's why, like, once I seen people display, the thing is, even when I was peak eating disorder, I still was eating. like that.
Yeah, we just was eating healthy.
So I'm like, I can't kick it with people like that. But like, shout out to her for keeping her cool, because the way I would have been like, mink, 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 like, sorry, like she just got such a punchable face, and I just feel like she just would not do nothing. Like I could just
Yeah.
tell Ice Spice can't fight, and
Yeah.
but I'm fighting people that you know you can beat. So that's,
It's
uh,
no fun fighting people that you know
but
you can beat. Another thing Cleo mentioned is like it's really something to be said about people who steal your swag. It's like who steal your swag and then try to flex on you. Cause I can see that. Like Cleo
yeah, I can
mentioned,
see that.
I was the one wearing mini skirts and stuff while Ice Spice was wearing like
And
bodysuits
Jordans,
and like skin and Jordans. We all saw
we
it.
did.
We all saw what she looked like when she
And
first came out.
also, I
So
remember because I had been following Cleo before I was following Ice Spice. I
I've been following Cleo probably since
I remember
2019.
she was talking about like Y2K fashion, and she liked Y2K
Yeah.
fashion. And even though,
And the mini skirt thing.
yeah, and
It's
I
all
know
her.
that Ice Spice was born in 2000, so I'm like, all right, the Y2K thing, okay, didn't think too deep in it, but yeah, the fashion and stuff like that, I could definitely see.
And there's this impression that like, oh, you can't copy or be a fan or be a hater of somebody who has less
That's not
popularity
true. That's
than
the
you.
perfect person
That's
to
not
steal
true.
from. That's actually the perfect.
That's who people steal from. That's who the Jenners and Kardashians
Yes,
steal from. That's who these big fashion
yes,
designers steal from. They just notice, oh, there's a person in my life that has that it
yep,
factor. And what if I could take the fame and
hmm,
popularity that I have plus their
yes.
style? It'd be a winning
And
combo.
I
Like,
don't know if you ever saw it, but there was a Saturday Night Live skit where they literally verbatim took one of Cleo's TikToks and they did it. She was like correcting people like using your and you are like,
mm-hmm.
and they took that Saturday Night Live. I remember that night
Mm.
where people was tagging Cleo. I'm like, what the fuck? We know that literally Saturday Night Live, a show that has been around before, like longer than we have been alive, like took a TikTok of hers and put it, like they didn't even write their own stuff. They literally verbatim to,
And thing is, when they could have put it on, they could have put her on if they thought it was funny.
yeah.
But they instead of putting somebody on, they just steal.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Ice Spice. It's like you really could have put her on, but even your attempt to put her on was just if Cleo said it felt like humiliation, like she just was trying to humiliate her throughout that whole tour. So, y'all, it's a 5-part series on Cleo's TikTok. And it's just crazy seeing like all the different memes that are coming out of it. And I watched all 5 parts. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I watched all 5 parts because I needed to know now. This is the second person making allegations about like Ice Spice and how she's just off.
You could just tell
And
in her
I like
eyes, and I like her music.
I'm about to say I mean I think the newer music is just not for me. Like I really come on. Hood Princess Diana, that shit is everything. Like her first project was amazing, or at least the first
Yeah.
I think her first mainstream project. It was great. But at the end of the day, like she just it don't mean just because you can make good music don't mean you could be a shitty person. And I'm not a fan of people who are not girls. Like that is enough to make me And it's okay. So it's like that Baby Storm stuff. Then it was the Mads, Central C girlfriend.
Yeah.
And that was to me felt less about Ice Spice and more about Central C. But now knowing what I know or what I've been hearing about Ice Spice, I feel like, oh no, she liked it. She liked being the bad guy in that and being like the baddie that stole
And
somebody's
also,
man.
like, then finding out what we know about her mom, like,
Hmm. Yeah.
and so,
Yeah. So I feel like she wasn't raised right. And this kind of goes into our tea time subject of just like being careful of who we lift up. Like we gotta watch who we start to lift up. Like obviously, like sometimes people they have a pristine like reputation. Like I could remember when Ice Spice first came out, everybody was going through her TikToks and stuff. I mean her Twitter, and there was nothing problematic. It was all funny shit. Like she was genuinely funny. And I feel like sometimes the fame can change people. So sometimes it's not very clear who you should not
yeah.
lift up. You just got to watch your behavior and be like, I'm not going to continue to lift you up because like morals should mean a little something in today's society. It really should mean
Mm-hmm.
something. So I'm not going to continue to lift you up. But more specifically, because whatever, Ice Spice is whatever. And I genuinely believe that her career is going to run its course. And, she'll have her moment. And just like all the other, like, girls from different eras who had their moment and then we don't know where they are anymore. Like, excuse me, when's the last song we've heard from like Rod Digga? Like, so
that was wild.
she's gonna be this gracious raw digger, and that's it. So she'll have her moment, and then she'll like move on and whatever. Get your money, whatever. But there are some people that are like even more so than Ice Spice. They really do not deserve like the pedestals that they're being put
At
on. And I
all.
feel like the pedestals come from attention and money. So Sabrina, you can give a little bit of context about where this came
So I
from.
was thinking, so like this has been something that's been on my mind for a while now. And like
Mhm.
again, I am a millennial, so I grew up with trash TV and I love reality TV. Like I would never say
Yeah.
I'm above it or whatever like that. And I do watch baddies whenever I'm getting my nails done. But I will say, out of all the trash reality TV I have watched like of my life, baddies just it has no plot. It literally has no plot.
No, it
It has
don't.
no plot. No.
Even Jocelyn's
Yes, I was
Cabaret.
about to say Jasmine's Cabaret is the probably the best show on Zeus because it has a plot. They're working,
I don't even feel like that show really have a plot.
but
Like
they're
it be
working
all
toward.
about a
Yeah, they're
performance.
working towards something. They going to the cabaret. Like on Baddie,
I guess.
it's
Okay.
like what
Hmm.
are they working towards? Like
They
being
just
angry.
working towards who could be the most violent and get the most viral like
Exactly.
soundbite.
Yes. So I
Hmm.
say that to say this. So Santana was the host, the MC for I think it was a reunion,
Hmm.
and
Perfect host.
like perfect host. Yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
because he know what level he can meet them where they are. Um,
Exactly.
show. So yeah, so host. And some of the girls had a problem with him being a host. And like I saw tweets from Biggie,
Why?
one saying probably because they know that he make more money than them. But anyway, Biggie saying like
And because he's a gay
that
man, and
part,
there'd be a lot of
that
homophobia
part.
and like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of ignorant black
Yep.
women. Let's be,
And so they Biggie had a problem with him talking about something. I'm a get money bitch. Like I make more money than you. Like all this stuff, blah blah blah. First of all, Santana was like, and he did it real cute. He said, first of all, I got paid to host. What I money that you made being on the show. So let's be
yeah.
clear.
To mention Santana's just on another level. Like I will argue, and I hope nobody try to play with me here, that Santana is entering kind of like cultural icon
No, I
status
agree. I agree.
because like the Material Girl, like Santana is just an enigma,
And
like completely different from anybody else. Like not just an icon for like people who are gay, but also like an icon for like black women. He's hilarious. He's been relevant for some time. Like he's got a crazy story. Like how can y'all put yourselves on the level of somebody who has an actual active
I would
career?
yes.
Somebody that Netflix hires Santana to do promo for like their black leads like stuff. Like
Hello?
Santana is more of a bit more of a household name than Biggie because if I bought Biggie to somebody I know, they would say that Notorious
Yeah.
B.I.G. They wouldn't say, oh no, that knock me girl who is more known at this point for all these 7 billion surgeries she getting than anything
No,
else.
that's Rolly. Actually, they got the soldier. It's two big ones. That's mean. So,
Oh, forgive
but they
me.
both.
I'm
She is
sorry.
knock me though.
Roly.
She is knock me though as well.
Well, I'm sorry. I feel like that's knock me energy.
It is,
That's
but
knock me
that
energy. But okay, I will say my bad to Roly. I didn't mean to throw her under the bus
you can.
because of somebody else. I thought she was talking shit. But with Biggie, like,
That's the one
come
with the
on,
deep voice.
girl.
But I'm like, that's when I was like,
Let me
big
stop
the
her. She come
she,
over here.
she was
Fuck
like
me
big
up.
the that's the one. We could take her, but yes,
Together, yes, for
but yeah,
sure.
but my thing is
Hmm.
like Iman said, he is collecting accolades and like doing things in different areas. Like you are just on Zeus, and what you do there cannot translate on other stuff, to other things. Like
Yeah.
nobody is going to want to hire you. They're going to look at you like a joke. And like outside of
Hmm.
Zeus, like all right, outside of Zeus, what can you go from there? Now that's TV. Now that's TV is literally like Zeus, but worse. So I'm like, you cannot
Ugh,
go anywhere outside of these two places. And I was saying
no.
earlier on Twitter, like that if you really was a get money bitch, you was a real like thinking, building like your career bitch, like you would get into some training because you cannot be 50 years old fighting on grass. You would train
Right.
now while you're in your late 20s, early 30s. You would start training and then join a WWE or some shit like that, because it's not like
The real weight
no,
involved.
for real, because there ain't that is at least it's scripted.
When you said start training, I was like, training for what? I'm wondering, like, what is she talking? WWE?
Yeah, or
You can't be 50 body slamming people either. But I guess you have a stronger
because
wrestling.
you know what I'm saying, because like it's a plot on WWE and they don't fight as hard. Like it's all choreography. So
But you can't call them bitches on WWE. I feel like that's the part that they like. That's the thing they like. No, it's just that's the thing they like. I feel like WWE would ban Biggie. Like they like keep that bitch away from this premises. She is dangerous. This is supposed to be for fun. They like to actually hurt people.
get into some anger management.
I get what you're
Come
saying though. Create a path for you.
exactly.
Like use this.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Who from Bad Girls Club has used it? Tanisha.
Yes, she changed
Tanisha.
her whole like she. I know she on like a reality show now. I think called like the Villains or whatever. But now she got
Hmm.
her. She thinking of the bigger picture. Like she like this is the
Yeah.
bag. Like whatever. And
And she got her social media
yep, she
influencer bag
did.
and like really started doing
Hmm.
things. Or like the Claremont twins. Like I know that there's some, people can feel how
Yeah,
they feel, and I'm not gonna comment
yeah.
on that. The whole point is they got to the bag. They walk in fashion shows. Like you can transition this or Snooki.
Yes,
Like
hello.
from like
Sneaky
the Jersey
WWE.
Shore.
So
Yeah, I think I do remember her doing WWE. So you're right. There's a
so
path.
yes,
Way, but I also feel like Snooki wasn't like as
she
violent.
wasn't.
She just was funny and
And,
cute.
and I'm
Like,
drunk,
but
but
Snooki got her influencer
yes,
bag, and she
exactly.
was drunk.
So I'm
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
changing your like the way these bitches are going like on baddies, and I feel like they have such a ghetto ass mentality that they feel like, oh, this is it's up, like it's up, like I got paid
It's up from here.
10K to go sit in a
Yeah,
club, like it's up from here, like this shit is not up.
and I think they watch like Cardi too, and they be like, "This can go anywhere."
Yeah, but
Like,
I'm not again.
and y'all are
Y'all
not
are not
Cardi.
Cardi, exactly. Y'all are not
Yeah.
like some of y'all are not that conventionally attractive, and y'all don't know how to talk to people. The thing is, yes, Cardi is very ghetto, but she do know how to talk to people, and she's
She is a
charming,
nice. I think she's a nice
and she's a
person, and
nice
she's
person, and she's
charming. Yeah.
charming. Y'all are just
Yeah.
angry, and you think that like you get 20K and 30K near, like you think that you've won. That is not the end all be all. Like you have not won. And then it's like the fans and stuff. Because I was telling Iman earlier, like now the adults, the old heads is like us, like younger
Yeah.
millennials, older millennials, and like older Gen Z, like the adults. And like a lot of us grew up watching reality show like reality, and like there are some people like when I tell y'all the internet, like I know the internet people like that's not real life, but sometimes you go out in real life and you hear people talk, be like, yeah, like Rolly doing her thing, she got her body done. What? Like people really
Yeah.
think that these bitches are really doing their thing because they got their body done. They showing up in clubs, and like some people know like they're not doing their thing.
And it's what a lot of young girls are looking up to.
Exactly.
So, like for me, it's like, all right. I was just talking. Me and Sabrina, we kind of like when we were discussing like if we were going to talk about this. I was just saying like it's niche,
Mhm.
right? Because I have friends who would be like, "What's baddies?" Black women from North Philly, but they are like, the eat, pray, love type of
Mhm.
people. So they're not going to consume this or even really know what it is, you know. And not to mention, like in a grand scheme of entertainment, like if you go on Complex, if you go on InStyle, if you go on Vogue magazine, if you go on Essence like magazine Instagram page, none of these people will make the cut. They won't be in the news. They'll only be on the news on like Gossip in the City, the Shade Room, like the Hood, like the Hood
Yeah.
Spear.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still real, and it does have a hold on our
Yes.
community in a way that's
Because when you
like
read comments, you'll be
unfortunate.
like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
yeah. And like people just are really like locked in, like in the same way people are like locked into like Krishan and like Blueface
That
and
was
like
a
what's going
horrible
on.
era. I'm so happy they're in jail. Oh my God.
Yeah, but I think Krishan just got out. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I don't
Mm-mm.
know. I don't know, but there is a lot of peace on the internet since they've both been away. But the thing is with people our age like following along and having commentary on that, I do just be feeling like, bro, let's be careful about who we lift up. Like, I'm not trying to be like Malcolm X and like say like you can't consume any of this, because there are plenty of people who can consume it and move the fuck
Yes,
on
like I
and like
literally
not
will
make it
watch,
their
like me and my nail tech will watch an episode and just be like laughing, like, oh, that's
yeah,
whatever, whatever.
move
Yeah, move
on.
on.
But then there's other people
Cling
that
to
really
it.
be like looking up. And it's like the same thing. It was the same thing that used to happen with these like rappers' girlfriends. And people used to be like, oh my God, India, like how she bro, like how is what's her name? Lil Baby's girlfriend.
Um, Jada. Yeah.
Jada Waiter. Oh my God, her son, this, that. It's
Mm-hmm.
creepy. It's creepy. And when I see a young person doing it, like I kind of like roll my eyes, but I'm just like, okay, they're 22. This is, you know, their life. And people did the same thing with housewives when we were younger. They would like talk about it. But then when you see somebody that's 35 talking about Jada Waiter, it's like, bro, get the fuck on. Like you too old for this shit. You're just too old for it. We got to be very careful who we lift up. And another thing we were thinking about with this same subject, I don't like in this day and age, if somebody is making money, we excuse them for dumb things.
Yes,
I
and
don't really like
also
that because it's not just on
flex.
these shows, it's in our
Yes, I'm about to
community.
say that is a big thing in the black community too. People think that like somebody
Yeah.
making money, oh, they doing their thing.
But I can't say nothing because they doing anything. It's like, first of all, like I be knowing people, they be doing anything and everything to get some money. Like, and the way they had the community in check just because they drive X car. The way they have the community in check because when they have a cookout, they have unlimited like hot sausages. Like things like that. It be that. It be that for a community. Oh my God, look at all this Hennessy. I'm never gonna speak against you. That's the
That
slave
is, yeah,
mentality.
I literally was about to say that. Like, you're in chains. You are in
That's the slave
chains.
mentality if I ain't never seen it before. Like you really, it's like even in my like family, because like we are from the hood, my grandma will critique somebody for something ignorant that they've done. And one of my family members would be like, yeah, but she doing her thing, she's still making money. My grandma said, what do that have to do with her littering in front of my door? Had to do with her putting crab shells in the alley next to my house and making it stink and making all these cats come. Oh, cause she make money now? Cause she making money, I'm supposed to smell that shit and be happy with it? Like I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck about
yeah,
that.
she's making money. She went to me.
Yeah, like I'm still in my fucking house smelling that shit. Having to suffer from the consequences of something she's done, and I'm supposed to just bear in mind that she drive a Maserati or she drive a this or she drive a BMW. Like I really know people. They will say somebody who got out of the hood, like maybe went to school, or in some cases went to the army, or in some cases just got a good job, right? And then they saved, and then they got a home, and then they got married. That person don't get no credit, no credit. But the person who still live in the hood, who might be poisoning the hood by like sharing, giving drugs or selling pills, doing whatever to get money, profiting off of the community's weakness to get money, as long as they have like a really expensive wig on, as long as they have like a really expensive bag or some nice
Yeah.
shoes, and they just look real fly. And I'm like, for me, that all looks so suspicious.
Hello?
Like, you ever see somebody like they be wearing like all Chanel, but in the background, you like they're in the
Yeah, no,
trenches.
for real.
We know, we've seen this. You'll see somebody with the most laid wig, they like decked out in designer stuff, and I'm like, if I was an FBI agent, I bet we got him. We've got him. But people, that's who people choose to give
Yeah.
respect to. But if you're somebody that's like a teacher and you want to, I feel like there are a niche amount of people that would give that person respect
Yeah.
as well. Like there's a story I read a while back, and it just so happens to be somebody I went to college with, brother, but he was starting like a bike club in University City and getting more black people into biking. And at one point, this particular person was biking home at night and he got shot. And now, from what I see, he's in a wheelchair, right? And his whole life has changed when he was just doing something positive. That's the type of people we need to praise. People who are trying to make a positive
Yeah.
impact, and then the hateration and just the devilment in this city. Like, I don't know, sometimes I be feeling like Mitt Romney when I'm like, yo, we got to stop making excuses for people. We have to stop making
No,
excuses for people in
same,
our
same.
community and their ignorance, because there's a clear right and wrong, and we're not above
Because we have to
understanding
think
that.
about the children. I feel like y'all not thinking about the children. Like, y'all really not thinking about the
Hmm.
children when y'all say stuff like that. Because I hear, like, I'll, like, be walking and I hear, like, teens say stuff about, like, how we talking about, oh, but they get money and something like that. Like, I hear it, even as a teen, I remember those being conversations. And I'm like, you have to remember that these kids grow up into adults. And sometimes they grow out that mentality, and sometimes it stick with them, and that is their motivation. And no matter what, they're like, I gotta get money no matter what. Like, no matter what the
No matter what and no matter who is in the way,
exactly.
like, you are just a barrier. Like, I will get that
Yeah,
money
like, oh, you was
regardless.
telling me about the guy was Mr. Disrespectful. That thing.
Yes, I
That
was literally
that
about to
yeah,
go there.
so
Shout out to
people,
Savvy, bro. She be putting us on to all this stuff, like the Baddies, Jocelyn's Cabaret. Like, I would be completely out of the loop had it not been for her. And I think she's an example of somebody who can watch that and that don't have shit to do with her.
yeah,
Don't have nothing to do with her and how she live her life and who she choose to
yeah,
respect. So that's an example that just because you choose to consume certain content, don't mean you're stupid enough to like put these people on a pedestal. But she was just showing me this content, and in my opinion, it showed me like the underbelly of the city I lived in. And it was like, bro, I gotta be more careful. Like, I have to be more careful because there's a lot of devilment in this city. Like, that's the only word I can use. It's like a lot of times I felt like even like the drug dealers, like, think about DMX, right? DMX was very like Christian adjacent, even though he was probably doing some things that were not
yeah,
Christian. But it just was like, it showed to me a moral compass. Like, he would be like, Lord, give me a sign. Or like Kanye West, always talking about like kind of like God. May not always translate in their actions, but to me, it kind of reassures me that they're not like going to fly too far off the deep end, because I could be wrong because people weaponize
yeah,
Christianity, but I felt like for a long time, like even drug dealers and stuff in the black community were still kind of like connected to, like, I guess, godliness, and too much evil just would be like, what type of shit you want, bro?
yeah.
You
Because I feel
weird.
like
Like,
our
nowadays,
generation and like I feel like millennial and Gen Z be on some devious stuff. Like, y'all ever see that? I
yeah,
ever see,
yeah, like Debbie
yeah,
Jeffrey
like you,
Dahmer meets like
King
a
Von.
thug.
Like, see,
That's what
like
it
you
is.
ever,
It'd be Jeffrey Dahmer meets like thug.
yeah. So it's like on some King Von shit. Like, I don't know what happened with us. Maybe 9/11. I don't know. The recession in 2008. I don't know. But y'all
Yeah.
ever see like that skit Drew Skidoo when it's like young rappers and they be like, he be rolling his eyes back and he be like, fuck God. Like, I feel like that's how they be acting.
Yes. When Drewski in that same skit, it's like he uploaded a picture with him and his friend. It was like, my
Yeah.
demon. That's how that's how I feel. Like, they like being demonic. And I feel like as black people, like, we usually don't fuck with
And
Satan and
I'm
stuff.
saying this as somebody who like, look at my fucking blinky. Like,
But
I'm just
it's not too much with us. It's, I'm like, you know
they
me.
be
I don't play like
too
that.
devious, and they be
And they be trying to out devil each
yes,
other.
they be definitely trying to out double each other, and I'm just like, we gotta watch who we uplift, who, because like, for instance, that the disrespectful guy, he got off on being viral and being viral.
Yeah, being
Yes.
disrespectful. This guy, he's a Philly gang member, so young. His name was Mr. Disrespectful. That's what he called himself, but his real name I forget was something else. But like, he went viral for being the person that was like digging up the grave of like one of his ops. So getting that attention from being evil, right, was something that he really really fucked with. And here's the thing, it worked because you got a lot of young boys right here who parents don't give them no
Mm-hmm.
direction because they don't want to be. I know so many people. They are such lazy, hands off, neglectful parents. They have yet to say, I'm a parent. I don't need to put myself first in the sense
Yep.
that some of these needs are just for fun. I don't need to be at the club. I don't need to be at the bar. I don't need to be wearing these wigs. I don't need I'm not necessarily the
Yeah.
star, you know? Why are you laughing?
Making wigs all this whole,
Because
but
you
I know
know, I feel like some
exactly.
people life revolve around
I know,
wigs. Like that's all they like. That's all they
but I
think
know
about.
exactly what you're
They
talking
don't.
about.
They would literally get a wig and then a light to get cut off in their house, and they be like looking for people. Oh, I need a man with some money because you know you did this, or some men who are just completely like disconnected from their kid's life, or maybe abusive to the
Yeah,
mother, and kids see that, and then now they already don't have no
moral compass.
code. They don't have a moral compass. They don't have no code of conduct because it didn't come from home. So then they become like so easily swayed by people like Mr. Disrespectful because Mr. Disrespectful is getting
Yeah, and
attention,
also
you
viral
know?
in certain platforms that translates to money. And
It does translate to
I
money.
feel
Yep.
I was younger, like not many people knew that. Like it was like I knew that because I was like on the internet, but like everybody didn't know that. But it's like a known fact now, because the job, now, and like now people are like, let me see what is the craziest thing I can do to get noticed
Right.
to that translates to
What's the
money.
craziest thing I could do to get noticed? And so there's this white guy. He's kind of like, I forget the guy, Narvark or whatever his name is, the one with the geeky white
Yeah,
guy that be interviewed. What's his name?
Narvar.
Is it
Yeah, I think it's even Narvark. Isn't it Narvark?
Yeah, so there's a guy similar to him. He's a little younger. His name's Brandon Birmingham. He's like, I think based in Salt Lake City, but this crazy white boy, he goes to all these hoods with these different rappers. He's tapped into what's happening.
Nardwar.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, okay. So, Savvy showed me the video of Brandon Birmingham coming to Philly to hang out with Mr. Disrespectful. And when he was hanging out with Mr. Disrespectful, it was crazy because this guy was like trying to flex between I'm not that bad of a person and I'm also really disrespectful at the same time. I disrespect anybody. To a certain extent. He'll say things like that. And I felt like it was definitely given Donald Trump. And I'm like, this is a certain personality where you want to be evil and well liked at the same time. And it's crazy. And he was saying, like, I hope that I get rich off this shit. I invest in business, get my family out of here. I'm like, you think you're surviving what you've done? That's what I thought. Like, I'm like, bro, you really think so? The reason why Savvy showed me this video, by the way, is because this guy, right as soon as this thing was published, I don't know if it was like a month or so ago, he was killed, right? But in this video, he talking about how he ain't never been shot, he ain't never been touched, he go to different hoods, he pretty much invincible. Meanwhile, he makes songs with lyrics about what he's done, taunting his victims' family. And keep in mind, when we're watching who these victims are, it's 15-year-old so and so, 17-year-old so and so, 20-year-old so and so. And I'm like, how can we get behind this? These guys are sociopaths. They're killing the children in our neighborhood, children killing each other. It's crazy. And it's like, how is this guy popular? How is he viral? How do he have a live and then people jump on and watch what he has to say? And like, how does he's talking about all these different women he be with? Who I would be scared to death of this man.
Hello?
Who is fucking him? Who sees him and goes, power? Yes, hell yeah. Like, that's some type of guy I like. I would see him and I would go deviant,
Definitely.
devilish
And if
deviant. I am no way in the world am I being alone with him. Hell
having
no.
disrespectful in your name, like that's really, like that says it
Scary.
all. Like, because also like being disrespectful is something like embarrassing, and the fact that you're embracing it is like, hello.
Yeah, I like this shit. I like this shit. I like being the villain. It's like pretty much crazy to me. And I'm like, all right, that's who we looked up. And even so, Savvy was showing me another video of Brandon Birmingham coming to Philly this time to meet with another rapper by the name of Skrilla. Skrilla. I don't know
That
if you
sounds
know who that
familiar.
is. I don't. Anyway, he hangs out on Kensington Avenue a lot. Like he is always on
Hell,
Kensington.
no, on Kensington Ave was the last time I was on Kensington Ave. I just got, and I was like, why am I here?
And I wasn't hanging
Was
out,
not hanging out. I was trying to
Like
get from point A to point B.
when I tell you my foot be on that gas hard as shit when I gotta go through under like the bridge of Frankfurt on Frankfurt Avenue, I don't play like that. I don't be so he I think it's Frankfurt was
Oh,
like under the train
same
tracks. That's
difference.
where they hang out.
scary.
That's like so scary at night, but he hangs out, and I think like part of why he does it is because he's trying to like not demonize like people with addiction
Hmm.
issues, and he's like, no, this is fine, it's cool, this another. But then he also be kind of like offering them drugs and stuff too, like so not really helpful. And then this video was crazy to me because shit, there was something that happened that just took me out. Okay, I remember. So Brandon Birmingham was literally with them all day. So it's like 1, 2 a.m. He out here on Kensington Avenue documenting like what life is like, how the police get involved, how this drug addiction thing could even happen.
Yeah.
Because he's just like perplexed. Like, how are the cops like picking with, I guess, like the black men who's standing on the corner, but then they just completely don't trip about these people who are on drugs who need help, and it's just like, how was this happening? Because Kensington is like a phenomenon. Like, this is so
It's
irresponsible for this to even
yeah.
happen, and nobody tries to clean it up or help these people.
No.
It's terrible. But there was this little boy outside, and he was like, yeah, like, I'm gonna be a rapper, this and the other. He was like 16 years old, and his mom was with him, like, yeah, this my son, this and that, he gonna be a rapper. And I'm like, why are you and your son out at 1 a.m.? Brandon Birmingham was like, it's like 1 a.m. on a school night, don't he got school? And the mom was like, chill, chill. Like, he got school, but at the end of the day, this is like, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to be out here and be talking to these rappers because he been doing this for a long time. I wanted to hear about that bitch so bad. Like, what are you talking about? Get your fucking child in the house. This is a once in a lifetime
And
opportunity to
guess
be out
what?
here.
She thinks that Biggie is doing her thing. That is
Yes,
that
that's
person.
somebody. Also, I'm like, bro, yo, I seen that too. I seen like a lot of like moms who prey on their sons in
Mm-hmm.
particular to like be a rapper
Yeah.
and get them out of the struggle, be a baller and get them out the
Mm-hmm.
struggle. Like one time I was at a hair salon, there was this girl that's pregnant. She was having a baby. I forget what the baby's name was, but she said, "Yeah, I'm gonna name him this," and everybody was like, "Oh, that's a famous name." She said, "Yep." So when he a basketball player, that name is gonna make sense. And I'm like, your son could come out and start voguing for all you know. And you think that he's going to be a basketball player. He could come out and be like, here comes the hurricane. Like, he could really just
And
start like being a whole different person.
that is insane. But cause I know the same people. That's why I'm like, this is not like it's like at first it was like I feel like me meeting getting older and meeting different people and having different conversations and like working different jobs and stuff and hearing people say different things. I'm like, oh no. Then people in the comments, like that shit is real. Like they're
It's
not just
real.
on the internet. Like it's really people out here that really thinks in these ways that are
Yeah.
harmful. Like they really think in these ways and then they like say stuff to their kids and then the kids repeat it. And like it's just this is not it's for real.
Yeah. And I don't know how we combat it. Like, I feel like
Turn
it's
off
not
the
enough.
motherfucking TV. That's not
They're not
they
gonna
not
do
gonna do
that though.
that. They're
They're
not
not
gonna
gonna do
cancel
that.
the
And I
subscription.
also wonder, like, okay, has this already always existed at some point? Like, there's always been like
Yeah.
ignorance, like in the hood, because it's a lack of
I feel
resources,
like
like lack of
the
education, lack of
you know
everything.
what's crazy? Like I feel like the internet may have made it stronger.
It has. That's what I was gonna say. It's always
It has
been
made it
there,
stronger.
but this exposure, and like you just be seeing people like so tapped into like, yeah, I want to be a rapper, like I want to be this, I want to be a rapper. It's okay to want to be a rapper. It's really okay to make
Hmm.
music because it's a form of expression. But I'm gonna need y'all to have some other
Yeah.
goals. Like, I'm really gonna need y'all to have some other goals. Like I said, when I was little, I wanted to be a
Yeah.
singer. But by the time I was a teenager, it was like, that's nice, but like, what else can I do for
Yeah.
myself? Like, like it's something to be said when everybody's goal is, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to be a rapper, I want to be a singer, I want to be a football player, I want to be a basketball player. Like, what I want more kids to want to do other
Yeah.
things. Like, I really respect people when they're like, I want to be a teacher. I really want to be this. I want to be like a doctor. I want to be a lawyer, because I'm like, y'all want to do this for the wrong reasons. Y'all don't want to do it because you're even good at basketball or you're good at football or you're good at rapping. Because if you had a God-given talent, they'd do it. But it's because of, like you said, they just want that money, that fame, that
Hmm.
control. And that's very
Yep.
blinding. And it's not all that life is
Cause
about. That's not all that
exactly,
life
because
is
a lot
about.
of people don't know what it is to be a quote unquote boss. Like they just
Yeah,
or
an
entrepreneur.
entrepreneur
They think
or
it's just
boss. Yeah.
I get to tell people what to do. They don't get to tell me what to do. They don't understand that like you have to invest in your whatever you're doing. Like you have to put the money out
Hmm.
because everything's on you. You have to pay for the utilities. You have to pay for the overhead. You have to pay your
Yep.
employees. You have to pay your taxes. You have to pay for your the LLC. You have to pay for the name.
You have to
You
ride the
have to
waves of the
exactly. You have to ride the
economy.
waves of the economy. You have to know the temperature of the economy. You have to know like, is
Yeah.
this a need? Or is it just something I want? Like,
Hmm.
and that the list goes on. That's not even everything. So I'm like, it's the wrong
Yeah.
reason. Like people just want to, they want to have control. And
And they don't discipline and they don't want nobody telling them what to
exactly.
do. That be it. A lot of folks don't want nobody telling them what to do. And I honestly can't stand personality types like
Same.
that. So it's funny because the little boy who was out there, his mom was like, yeah, he doing this, he doing that. And Brandon Birmingham asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up. And he was like, I want to be a rapper or an entrepreneur. You know, I don't want to work for nobody one day. And I'm like, baby, I'm tired of people making it like it's so bad to work for
I
somebody because
never
it's really
like
not.
when people maybe I'll change my mind, but like I everybody know I want to work in film. I literally have no desire to open my own production company like right now. It would be a good
Hmm.
idea, like especially as a black woman, but I have no like that's not what I want to do. Like I'm like if somebody from A24 right now was like, "What's up? Like you want trying to get?" Absolutely,
I have no problem.
absolutely,
So, like, the thing is, I would love to be like an independent creative, like,
yeah. Like
because you could say like
yes, I want to
influencers or
do
something, or
independent
technically,
stuff.
yeah. I want to do independent like projects and work and just have that freedom to do it. But it doesn't have anything to do with me not wanting to work for like anybody. Like, so my life can go different ways. Like, technically this black girl brunch thing is us being entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
right? That blows up, we run it. Or we can like be like those independent creative that choose to work with like production companies from time to time, or we
Yes.
collaborate on these different projects. Great. Or like life, it turns out that you are like a VP of like a really big company and you're making a lot of money. Sometimes more money than like influencers
Yeah.
and other creatives. Like you can that's another way that life can like take you. And like if it takes you there, fine. But I realized that everybody got to be told what to do by somebody. Like if you
Exactly.
if you if you don't know, like even a CEO of a company has to report to
Hmm.
stakeholders, and like even entrepreneurs, like they have to depend on like certain people. Even Savvy, when she heard like Savvy is an entrepreneur, literally has her own business, has had her own business for years, she was like, well, I don't know why people want to do this entrepreneur thing. It's not what they think it is. It's like it's nonstop work. It's
Yeah.
nonstop work, and people be too lazy to do like the little bit of work that they're
You don't
like
got no
supposed to do.
PTO. You gotta pay. You don't have health insurance. Like you don't have to. You have to get insurance for stuff. You gotta go to
All
school.
decisions come from you, like
Exactly.
no directions coming from above. There's not necessarily always people to collaborate with about decisions. So it's like I'm not one to discourage people from being an entrepreneur, because obviously entrepreneurship is great. Like especially like small black owned businesses, they really, it's how we used to run as a society.
Yeah.
Like before, like places like Target and Walmart wiped us out,
Hmm.
and big supermarkets, that's how our society used to run. You go to the bread store to get some bread, you go to this place to get your meat if that's what you consume, you go to this place to get this supplies, the hardware store. Like that is how like society
Yeah.
has ran. And I don't feel like that's a bad
Mm-mm.
thing for society to kind of run like that and to empower
Mm.
families or individuals to have money. But I just feel like when you say it, like know what it
Yes.
means and don't be saying it as a way to get out of, like having to answer to people, because that's a lack of
It is because
discipline.
it's more
And
work.
lack of discipline is not going to help you as an
It's not
entrepreneur.
because it's more work because we get the clock
Yeah.
out and we are off today. And
Mm-hmm.
we're off. We were off yesterday. We're off today. We off holidays. Like
Mm-hmm.
we,
And we get paid.
yeah, and we get paid. We always know what our check is going to be like. Like we, so
Yep.
it's like it's very simple. Yes, it's hard work that, well,
And we help
yeah, and
people
we help people. And like I know what we do both do is like hard work. And right now Q4 is like you know, raw dog.
right
It's
there.
yes, it's Q4 baby. But it's even more work. Like it's even more work when you're an entrepreneur. Like for instance, like if you do something like with like plumbing or something like that, we always like our maintenance people, like at my job there was something going on with the heat, the air, I'm sorry, the air, so it's hot. Our maintenance people, somebody had to come out on a Saturday, and they're not like, again, they're not entrepreneurs, but like some people who do stuff like that, they do independent like plumbing, landscaping and stuff like that.
They on
They on
call.
call all the time.
And trust me, they getting paid.
They
They getting
are.
paid for it. It's worth it. But like they probably have accepted that and they
Yeah.
understand. Like in a way that we accept as people who work for companies that like whatever we certain decisions come down the pike, they arrive to us and we don't really have many decisions on about it. And we just gotta be frustrated with that sometimes. People who are entrepreneurs, they make all the decisions. So they if they're frustrated with anything, at least it's like in their control. But at the same time, they have to kind of be on, depending on the industry, in ways where other people don't. We don't have to be on. Like there are very few things that can make me have to like tap into work. Like there would have to be a very huge risk related emergency to have me like call in on a weekend. And like when I tell you that's never
Yeah.
happened, it's
And
never
like I
happened.
was just thinking while you was talking, like for instance, if somebody's an entrepreneur and they do makeup and for like a bridal party, they got everybody that's counted for. One random girl shows up who was not accounted for, and she like, "Oh, can I get my makeup done?" You can't go to your boss and be like, "Hey, like what should I do about
And
this situation?" You have to handle that on your own.
yeah, or God forbid something happens like you get COVID. Like there's no other person, there's no backfill. Like it's just you. So I have a lot of
No,
respect for
same.
entrepreneurs because of everything we just said, but it's also like I have a lot of like irritation towards people who just want to do it because it's like a lack of discipline. And it's like there's some people who just got that mentality. Like they can get out there hustle. Like I have this I have a braider, the person who did my braids, she comes to my house and she does my braids. And she did me and my mom hair back to back, right? Like these types of braids back to back. I felt like that was crazy. She didn't go to the bathroom one time. She only stopped to have a cup of juice after I forced her to. She didn't eat. And like she would take a seat every now and again. But like I was like, do your fingers get cramped up? She's like, no. Some people built for this. Some people built to be entrepreneurs. And I told her, I'm like, bro, you are built different. Shout out to Ebony. She has had 10 children. And she stand on her feet all day and work. And she's like, yeah, no, it's not bad for me. I feel like some people built for it. You know what I mean? And it's like when you built for it, in my opinion, that's just like a God-given gift. Like you just
And she
really
probably
built
never said I
different.
want to be an entrepreneur. She probably just like, I want to do hair. That's the
Yeah, yeah,
thing. What
she
do you
just
want to be an
knew
entrepreneur
how to do
in?
hair.
Like, you just say, I want to be an entrepreneur. You don't say, like, I what you want to do. Like, when people say, I want to do hair, in my mind, automatically, oh, you're an entrepreneur. Or, like, even if you work at a salon, I still see that as an entrepreneur because you got to pay overhead.
Yeah,
Like, Savvy,
yeah,
I never hear her say the word entrepreneur. And she literally is one.
yeah.
She's a nail
Mhm.
tech. Y'all don't even know what is your specialty going to be. Like, what do you want to do
Right. And like, do you
in?
want to invest? Do you want to invest? Okay. If you want to invest, you don't need to be out here on like Frankfurt. You need to be in school so you can learn math. And like that way you can, be a better investor because like you don't have to necessarily have like you say like a certain focus. You could say like, oh, I want to own rental properties and flip contract. It's a lot of people who make come ups off of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people like hood people who make the property game is like very hot and low key kind of accessible, even though it don't feel like it is. If you know how to play your cards right, it can be very, very, very accessible. Like there'll be people who own like daycare, so it's like a possibility, but it's like, what do you want to do? Do you have the discipline to maintain things and do it well? Because one thing I cannot stand is when somebody becomes an entrepreneur and that shit is terrible establishment. Like you ever go to a restaurant and they just don't got their shit
Yeah.
together? It's like, bro, this is a money grab. That's all
Mm-hmm.
this is. This is a money grab. The food ain't good. The service ain't good. Nobody like y'all telling me to cash app you. It's just come on. I'm not doing
Yeah, no.
this. I hate a money
Same.
grab because it's like, what do I look like to you? Just a dollar sign? Like I'm a person who works for their money. Like, you know?
As a money grab. They do see it just as a money grab, and they don't want to. The bottom black last line is they don't want to be told what to do. But that's so funny because, like, how did we get here in the conversation? But like,
At the end of the day, the show just flowed. The show just
it did
flowed.
because
So
I feel like it
yeah.
all makes sense. It all makes sense. But
And it's on our chest. And I feel like it's frustrating when you're from this community and like sometimes you can make excuses for why people behave the
Yes.
way they do. And at other times it's like, bro,
Cause
we need
once
to hold each other more
I
accountable.
hear
That's it.
it's talk like regurgitating and stuff, that's when I'm like, all right, now we gotta, because I feel like another thing is, and I can't speak for other communities, I can only say like for black people, I feel like, and it might be like, as a whole, human beings, a lot of people don't see teenagers as kids. And that is
They
like
are.
always bothered me. Even as a but after somebody hits like 13, people are like, oh, you grown now. But I'm like, kids, like,
You should know
have you
better.
ever seen,
Yeah.
like, now that I'm 32, like, and I see school kids pass me by, I'm like, they really look like freaking babies. Like, they're kids. Like, I be looking at my coworker sister and I'm like, oh my god, she looks so young. Like, teenagers, they're kids. Like, stop like trying to be like, oh, they adults. Like, that's, I feel like that's not fair.
Yeah, stop giving up on your kids because you don't feel like raising them anymore because they're able to like do things more independently. Like they actually, in my opinion, need more direction than ever when they're in those teenage years. They don't need you to take your foot off the gas. They need you to put your foot on the gas because let me tell you something. Terrible behaved children and teenagers become uncontrollable adults
Yes.
because you can redirect a
Hmm.
teenager or a child. You cannot redirect an adult. The only redirection they have really is prison, and who really wants
Yeah, and
that?
honestly, that don't even work. Like, that's another conversation.
No, it don't.
But
No, it don't. That's a whole other
yeah, it
thing.
really don't. But it's funny that we having this conversation because earlier my mom was so my mom, like, not to like rub it in anybody's face, but my mom has always been a mom, no matter what.
Same,
And
same.
so y'all know, looking, if y'all from Philly, whatever, but she's doing like a school thing for kids, mainly teen.
Which she's been doing for
Yeah, she has been
years.
doing it for
She's been doing
years.
this literally. She lived down the street from me, y'all, and like she's literally been doing this since like
So
'08.
she's doing a giveaway and she's doing like a hygiene giveaway, and she told them that they're not allowed to record anything because it's kids and, like, just want to protect their privacy. But anyway, she's doing like hygiene kits for kids and teenagers. So my mom was saying, she was like, I did not know that teenagers, like, my mom was under the impression that when some kids became teenagers and like if they smell bad or had bad hygiene, that it was them just being like, oh, I don't want to do this. But like my mom didn't realize that like people give up on their kids when they're teens and they don't invest in their hygiene. And my mom didn't realize that, and because she didn't do that to me. Like, as soon
Right?
as,
Soap was
yeah, like,
available.
as soon
Yeah.
as I turned 12, like, as soon as I got my period, like, we all, like, literally, no, like, recently, because, like, my mom was menopause age, we don't have no pads. Like, when I was a kid, like, and would get my period, like, we always I never had to buy pads until I went to college. And
Right.
even when I went to
When I went to
college, my
college.
mom sent me off with something to start me off. Like,
Yep.
I
Yeah.
never had to buy pads.
It's a
Yeah,
privilege and
and
it's a
I
shame. It's a
always had
privilege.
deodorant, like, always.
A new
Yes,
toothbrush,
a
your
new
mom being on
toothbrush.
top of you, making sure
I
you
didn't even
change it.
realize how to buy a toothbrush because, like, they always was at my house. Like,
Yep.
and like, yeah, brush was always at my house. What's another thing? Like, oh,
Body
yes, my mom
wash.
loved Bath and Body Works. So if she got something from Bath and Body Works, she would always get something from me too. So I always had Bath and Body
Yep.
Works stuff. I always had like hand
Hmm.
lotion. Like, none of that stuff is like new to me. The only thing, like, we weren't really into skincare, but also I feel like that might be like a generational thing. Like, I know Iman has always been into skincare, but like I feel like that's like a new thing. Like, not a new thing now with like this generation.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big. Like, we just had like but also I've always been somebody that just had to use soap to like wash my face.
Yeah, but you know what? Some people do not prioritize like their money in those areas.
Yeah.
Like that's something I've realized. Like some people don't buy, they don't prioritize that. Like there will be people who won't have no hand soap, no aluminum foil, no like their house don't be a home,
Yeah.
you
So
know?
I'm
And it's like I know it comes with like being like, with lack of income, but when I think about my grandma, somebody who has been on a fixed income her whole life, she never had no fancy creams or nothing in her house, but she always made sure she had a dial of soap, a bar of dial soap in the shower and for your
Yeah. Oh,
hands.
we had
She always made
Eucerin
sure she
because
has
my both my parents. Yeah, because both
Noxzema,
my parents worked at
Palmer's,
hospitals.
cocoa butter,
Yes.
Vaseline, like, and it's still some basic things. It may not be fancy, but like my grandma always just kept herself neat and clean. And when I was at her house, like, okay, the dial soap and the Vaseline did just fine. Like it did just fine. Like you said, the Eucerin works. So it's like it comes down to prioritization as well. So that was really great call out for those hygiene kits because oh my God, working at a school, that bathroom, I would use the staff bathroom for safety reasons
Yeah.
because I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
when I go in here, it's terrible. And like a lot of the adults in the building would be like, yeah, they just nasty. I'm like, no, they haven't been
Yeah, because
taught.
when I worked at a school and I worked at it was a middle school and like a student had really smelled bad and like the kids were making fun of him. It was so bad that I had to go to like the assistant principal and then like she was like, well, it's really nothing we can do. It's not there is something y'all can do. Why are y'all acting like this? Like y'all want him to get
Right.
bullied? Like I don't get it.
Yep. Viola Davis said the same thing happened to her in school because she said that like sometimes she would pee in the bed and they didn't have a washer and dryer and her clothes would be wet from her trying to wash them out herself as a child. And she would go to school in the winter with wet, pissy pants on. And she said that her teachers would be looking at her in disgust instead of like helping. And like you don't know what kids got going on at
Hello?
home. You don't know. You just don't know. It's just crazy. So wow, this was a whole like dissection of our like community and their problems and it's a big deal. Like it's a very big deal because we live here and we're from here and we see it and it's holding us back. It's holding us back and I think a lot of black people are doing better than we've ever done before, but there's a lot of us, like millions of us that are down
Yeah.
bad, like that are down very, very bad. And it's still our responsibility to like talk about it and to like shed light on it and just to make sure we uplift the right people because there's, oh my God, there are some young people watching. And I feel like, damn, I miss back in the day when Meek Mill was like our example because he was definitely a better example than a lot of these kids. He went talking about killing and naming murders in his lyrics. Like that shit is just
Yeah.
crazy. So definitely looking forward to talking more about this and I do feel at a loss though as far as like what I can do personally besides just continue to talk about it and be as graceful and kind to people in our community as possible, but that really I feel like is it because some of this stuff is not happening on a micro level, it's happening on a macro
Yes.
level. Like until we get people resources and stuff like that, like we can't really just like vilify
Mm.
them without vilifying like the government
Yes.
because they don't step in. They if they gave a fuck, they would step in.
And
So that's
And
yeah.
also, like, if we're around, like, kids or anything like that, and they say something, like, redirect them, and not in a
Redirect. Yeah.
condescending way, and be like, oh, you gonna, like, just redirect them, because there is hope for some of them, to be frank. Like, it is,
Mm-hmm.
like, they can come up out
Exactly.
of this. But as for
Mm-hmm.
the ones that are in their late 20s and 30s, yeah, it's not much.
I just hope life can turn around for
It
them.
can.
Like my dad's life turned around in his 30s. He was a bad boy until he turned 30. And he regrets so
Mhm,
much of his life spent just like not following
mhm.
rules. So I believe that people can change, but as likelihood decreases with
Yeah,
age, it does.
true.
So but y'all, that's it. That's it for this week's show. Please let us know what you think. Make sure you write us on blackgirlbrunch@gmail.com. Make sure you send us some messages on TikTok or Instagram at Black Girl Brunch, on Twitter at BLK Girl Brunch. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Imamate, on Twitter at Ismate and Sabria.
At it's frankenfem underscore on Twitter, and yeah. And then it's no, I'm sorry. It's frankenfem underscore on Twitter, and it's frankenfem on uh Instagram and TikTok.
All right, y'all. That's it. That's the show.
Peace.